So you already know something has shifted pretty dramatically, and enough that you're definitely thinking differently now. Your role still exists and meetings are still happening. It's the ultimate gaslight, I like to call it, because your certainty, that's exactly what's changed. And now you're asking a question you've never had to ask before. What do I have outside of this? And you know what I'm talking about as far as your job, your career, because another certification is absolutely not going to fix this. Another role doesn't even remove the risk. And you're not about to start posting online like your career doesn't matter. Like, that is just absolutely insane. So it feels like you're stuck in between. You need something, but nothing you've been shown actually fits your life. So I'm just here to say, what if that's not true? My name is Jacquie, and I work in federal cybersecurity. And I stay visible every single day without being online, without using my face, and without it touching my career. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing this, and, also talk about what our real problems are. So, just for current context, let me just name what is actually happening right now, because I think that is fair. For a long, long time, visibility felt optional. Your role was stable and your clearance meant something, your experience carried all the weight. But now you're seeing how quickly things have shifted. Like, it feels like overnight. But what we're seeing in real time is contracts are changing, budgets are shrinking, moving, and priorities are getting redefined that we never thought we would see. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. We were taught visibility meant posting, showing up, building a personal brand. And that works for women building in public, but that's not us. If I'm talking to you, if you're here this long, that's not what we do. We've got reputations, clearances, careers well over 10, some over 15 years. So we are not risking that to chase attention. But here's the part that no one is saying clearly. Staying invisible used to feel safe, like the play, right? But now it just feels exposed, because when something like this shifts, whatever this is, you have nothing outside of it. You have no leverage, no asset, no control. So the question is no longer, should I be visible, right? Is there a way to build something that doesn't rely on me or my role without exposing myself? And the answer is yes. So let's talk about what an AI twin actually is, and more importantly, why it matters big time right now. So an AI twin is not a robot. It's not generic content. It's your thinking, your frameworks, your expertise, all of that structured in a way that can show up without you. Mine is called Second Wind AI. Love it. She speaks with my voice. She teaches what I actually know, and she does it while I'm in my meetings, I'm with my family, or I'm not online at all. I'm living life, raising kids, and running other businesses. So here's what changed for me, and this is the part that matters. I stopped tying my expertise to my time, and it has been a huge shift. Instead of, if I don't show up, nothing moves, it's become, my knowledge shows up every day, whether I do or not. And that's where the relief comes in, because now I'm not dependent on my role for everything. I'm not dependent on my time for visibility, and I'm not exposed publicly in a way that risks my career. This is not about content. It's 100% about control. So this is where a lot of us get stuck, especially high-performing women, because everything they've seen tells them if you want to build something, you have to be visible. And I get that. I talked about that all in the last video. But visible how? Is your name your visibility, your face, your job next to your content? That's not working. That doesn't work here. So let's be clear. Faceless isn't a workaround. It's the correct model for this level and your level specifically of career. Here's what that actually means. Your expertise is the asset. Boom, pop, cack. That's it. Not your identity. Woo! We'll get back to that because that's a whole lesson. But your thinking builds trust, not your presence online. And when you structure it correctly, you can build an audience, create income, develop more authority without attaching it directly to you. I can't explain to you exactly how this is feeling and how this comes out, like the mental fatigue removed from me, but stay with me. So over time, something shifts. And I've been trying to scream from the rooftops about it ever since this shifted for me. You stop feeling like everything depends on your job, because now you have something that runs without your time, something that exists outside of your employer, whether it's the Fed or a big four, whichever it may be, but something you control. That's the difference. It's not visibility, but it's ownership. Woo! If you've been feeling this shift, if you've been quietly thinking, I cannot be in this position again, like, don't ignore that. Don't ignore that. That awareness, that's the moment everything changed and should have changed. You do not need to start over, quit your job, or become a public brand doing all the things. You need to build something once correctly that removes this pressure from ever happening again going forward. That's exactly what I'm teaching but not. But it doesn't start just with building an AI twin, which I can show you how to do, but it starts with something so much simpler, right? So your first step is understanding what you already know and how that becomes an asset. So that is what my GPT stack or Faceless Authority does. It's free. It takes less than 15 minutes for step one, and it will show you immediately what you have to work with. Also putting inside things like, what you absolutely hate about what you do. We want to make sure that we're not forcing you to work with an asset that you're not interested in. Everyone has a career that is bellowed and all of this experience, and especially, for something like cyber. And that doesn't mean that you're going to pick the worst part of cyber for your asset. You're going to pick what makes you light up and what's honestly kept you there for those 10, 15, 20 years. So the link is in your description for GPT Stack 1. It's less than 15 minutes. Check it out. Start in the description. Start there. And absolutely, if you know any other woman in federal or contract work in this crazy space that we all live and nuzzle in, who is quietly trying to figure out her next move, please send her this. Because the problem isn't her career. It's that no one showed her a model that actually fits her. I'm Jacque. This is The Middle, and I'll see you on the next one.